How are you today? My name is Shannon and this is my YouTube channel, Whiskey and Wool, and my Knitter's Life series episode. I was just looking at this, episode 17. I think this is episode 17, season 4 for 2024. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I am so much better than I was last time that I recorded. Thank you so much for all your well wishes for my kitty, who is not 100%, but he's really, really well on his way. Should be 100% in another week, or I shouldn't say week or two. I think it's going to be longer than that. I think it's probably going to be another month, but he's certainly back to normal, pretty much behavioral wise. I took the cats today, staying on the cats for a moment. I took the cats today for checkups. So Egg didn't really need one, but he did need some vaccinations. So he'd already been checked, of course, half a dozen times over the last month by the vet. So he got vaccinations. And then Ruru, my big silver boy, he got a checkup. He hadn't had one in a year. And he got some vaccinations that he needed, and he's gonna need dental work because he is 10, and he had dental work when he was 8. He had a teeth cleaning. So yeah, he's going for a teeth cleaning next month. Yeah, so that's what's happening with my pets. And my job is calming down a little bit. I have sort of talked to my boss. So I just want to say that my mother got on and commented in the comments, scolded me for sharing about my job woes on the internet. But I don't give a shit. I'm going to say what I want. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to be looking for something else because I don't think the way they reconfigured my job is a good fit for me. And yeah, we'll just see what happens. I have tried talking to my boss, as my mother suggested. Yeah, I don't think that's going to go anywhere because I don't think she feels empowered to do anything, but whatever. It is what it is. I don't want to talk about it anymore, so I'm not going to. Let's talk about knits because I have so much. I am so happy with all of my knits, and that everything I've been working on, and I really can't wait to show you all the progress. So let's start with my finished object. I do have a finished object, and then we're going to get into what Martha's wearing. Oh, I should stop to tell you, I'm wearing a knit that I made earlier this year called the Crescendo Blouse. I think it's by the Knit Purl girl, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot to look it up before I started the video. I will correct myself on screen if I'm wrong. I held 2 strands together of a sock yarn and a Surrey lace weight from La Bien Aimée in her floral morganite color, which I just love. I still have another sweater's quantity of that color in a different yarn, so it's in my stash, waiting for the right project, which I have a couple ideas. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, finished object. I finished the shorty bear paw socks for my son Ryan, who has a size 13 foot. Turns out when you stop carrying these around and knitting a couple rows here and there, and you just sit on the couch and knit them, you can finish them in a night or two. I think it took me like a night and a half to finish whatever I had left the last time you saw it. So these are done, and are going to be a stocking stuffer for that boy. So all my son's socks are done for their stockings, and my daughter-in-law's one is done, and one's on the needles. I'll show you that. Should I stick with that? Let's just stick with bear paw for a moment, and then we'll do that. So also almost halfway done with this pair of socks. So I think I talked about wanting to do this last time. Again, bear paw sock. This is a women's size 8. I have modified the pattern to knit it on a smaller needle than what it calls for. It calls for a US size 4, and I'm using a US size 3 or 2.5 millimeter. Maybe that's no, it's not 2.5. I think it is a 3. A slightly smaller than a 3. It's like, I don't think it has an equivalent US number actually, now that I think about it. It was 2.5 millimeter. And I use these Flexi Flips. I haven't actually talked about this in a while with my socks. I use the Flexi Flips from Addy. I think Haya also makes some of this type where you're working on 3 needles in the round. So yeah, I really love this. This is way easier than having 5 DPNs or even DPNs generally, and way easier than Magic Loop. It's a bit of a combo between Magic Loop and it's actually a lot like Magic Loop, except that you don't have to pull the cord at the end. You're at the end of the needle, so it's really convenient. But anyway, yeah, this is how this is knitting up. This is mustache yarn in the colorway Equinox. I think I have the tag here. Yeah, she was doing I think I mentioned this last time I showed you the sock yarn. In case you weren't here though, it's fine. I'll recap. I bought 3 skeins of self-striping yarn from Mustache. This is the colorway Equinox. And so it says sock yarns, DK weight sock yarn, 75-25 merino nylon, 310 yards, which is really generous yardage for a DK weight. And I bought 3 skeins because the woman who owns the shop was doing a fundraiser for the hurricane recovery efforts from Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. So yeah, I was gonna say, she gives you 2 equally divided skeins when you buy self-striping yarn. I'm pretty sure, I've never bought her fingering weight self-striping yarn, but I'm pretty sure it's the same as it is with the DK. So the DK comes in 2 matching skeins, so I can just knit, as long as I'm knitting from the same side, same end of the skein, my socks will match. And so what I was going to say is that I believe there are 2 full repeats, and I'm not going to be knitting the entire skein for this size sock because yeah, I do about 50 rows in the leg, and I think I'm just over 30, so I have about 20 more rows to go, which should be about maybe 3 more stripes. So I'll probably get through these red tones and then I'll be casting off there. But the good news is that what's left is probably going to be enough for Julie, my granddaughter, to make her a pair of socks. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens. But yeah, really enjoying this. This is so fun, and I'm knitting it a lot on my couch so that I can get through them, because I have a goal of getting all the women's socks done by the end of Thanksgiving weekend. So I have this pair and then 1 more pair. Women, meaning the women in my family. Right. I forgot to say that Ryan's socks, these deep dark speckly blue, these are Magpie Fiber, fingering weight. It's their MCN base, merino cashmere nylon base in a club colorway, Magpie. Swanky sock. You're gonna see more swanky Magpie fibers in the project Martha's wearing, in the colorway Happy Winter Solstice, which is from their very first, what did they call it? Lunar? It was something heavenly, something related to the sky and stars, but it was something like that. Celestial, that was it. Celestial Advent or countdown calendar for the month of December. I bought their first one, so this was one of the colors, and this was the full skein actually at the end, like you opened on the solstice, which was 21st of December. generally. This is all that's left of that full skein from knitting those shorty socks. It was a good thing I didn't intend to knit him full socks because I wouldn't have gotten very far. Although I do have another partial skein that probably would have gotten me there. But I was saying before, earlier in earlier episodes, that I notice my sons all wear shorty socks a lot. So I know they'll wear, you know, ankle socks or socks that go up the calf. But I figured why not save a little time and get through the yarn or the knitting, Christmas knitting faster. And with this boy, I wouldn't have had enough in this one skein to get there anyway. I really have to be mindful because his foot is so big. I have to be mindful that I have a pretty high yardage skein if I'm gonna do that for him. Although I think the mustache with their yardage, that would probably be fine. It would probably get me there with him if I wanted to do an ankle or calf length sock. Yeah, so that's what's happening there. I fully expect to have the rainbow skein done, or the rainbow socks done, maybe by not the end of this weekend, but maybe by the end of this coming week. And then I can cast on the last pair. Although I may go right in and do Julie's, which Julie's will take me a day or two, my granddaughter. She's 4. She has a pretty big foot though for a 4-year-old. I don't remember what her foot size is, but I'll talk about it when I get there. But yeah, I know she'd love those rainbow socks. She loves rainbows, of course. Of course. Most kids do. Kind of jumping around a bit. I'm drinking a little wine because it's evening here. It is actually not even that late. It's only 5 o'clock. It's only 5 o'clock. But it's already dark, so I already have the lights out. And I was actually, so I really like to, this is kind of funny, sorry, tangent. I really like to record in natural light, and in the probably like 9 months out of the year, I get beautiful natural light, you know, beautiful for recording. I always get beautiful natural light in this apartment, but for about 9 months, I get bright natural light with, you know, no lights, just with natural light streaming in, and it's perfect for recording. So today I was waiting for that moment, and it never came. And I was like, oh, yeah, the sun's lower now, so I'm never going to get it. So then I just got busy doing other things, and I ended up, not being ready to record until this hour anyway. I was like, no matter what, I have to get the lights out, so it's fine. You're getting good light, though. It's just from studio lights instead. Yeah. So, let's keep going. Let's talk about what Martha's wearing. So Martha, my mannequin, she's my size, pretty much. She is wearing the... oh my gosh, it went out of my head. Stowaway by Wool & Pine. I keep wanting to call it, so I have on my queue another sweater that I'm probably gonna call Pine's sweater. So I keep mixing the two of them up because this is by the design company is Wool & Pine, but the sweater's called Stowaway. Magpie Fiber did a promo of this sweater 2.5 months ago maybe. And they were selling mini skeins. It's a DK weight sweater, and they were selling mini skeins so that you could, you know, figure out what color palette you wanted on the sleeves. The pattern also has a like a kangaroo pocket, like a hoodie pocket on it. I'm not going to be doing that. I only want the sleeves. And I know you're seeing this very far away, but I'm gonna take some footage tomorrow when I get good daylight, so I'll be editing this video tomorrow, but I'm gonna take some footage of it up close, so as I talk about it, even though it's far away, you'll see it. So before I get into that though, before I start talking about what's happening with the colors, I want to just tell you what I did with the body. So I hope that the fact that it's very smooth here and little wavy here isn't too distracting. I considered blocking it before I did the sleeves, but I really just wanted to jump right into the sleeves because this has been on the needles quite a while and I'm ready for it to be done. I want to wear it already. And I want to move on to, I want to try to fit in one more sweater knit before the end of the year. So, yeah, so I did not block this, but this was recovered yarn from a project. Here, let me take this down. This is my okay. This was yarn from a recovered project from a sweater that didn't work out. So I was like 3/4 of the way through that sweater when I realized that it really just wasn't going to be for me. I just wasn't going to like it. So I frogged it, and that's why you're seeing like this crinkly yarn. I don't, when I frog, I don't bother re-soaking the skeins and all of that, especially because I was casting right on again, and I really just didn't want to go through that extra step because I have really good tension, so the fact that it was kind of wavy and crinkly didn't really matter too much to me. Okay, so the yellow, let's do the yellow first, and then when I get to the color work I'll show you some close-up footage. The yellow is Qing Fibre Dashing DK, which is a base they no longer have. It is still listed on their website, but there's no products in the category. She's actually having a sale right now, 25% off. The colorway is yellow, yellow. Ooh, I didn't like the way that changed. Boop. That is not accurate. That is. Anyway, it's called Dashing DK. It has pretty decent yardage, but it's beautiful. I love it. And so what I did a whole deep dive into the colors, how I was picking the colors for the color work here. And I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. My one self-criticism of the color work would be that the minty green, which is a handspun that I'm using, which it has moments of blue. The minty green is a little too pale. I wish I just bought a skein from Magpie when I was buying some of the other colors. What I ended up buying, I'll just show you all the yarn, and then I'm sure I'm putting close-ups in here. So this is some handspun that was minty. I had on hand some fingering weight that I'm holding double of this like sort of reddish mauve color, I guess. This is a club color from Cat Sandwich Fibers. It didn't have a name, so I don't know what it is, but I've seen this color, something similar, in her sales in the past, like in the not too distant past. She doesn't post very often of her. She's an intermittent indie dyer. And then these are two Magpie Fiber minis that I bought, DK minis, and so I'm on the second sleeve, as you can see from over here. I'm just at the very, I don't like that. I'm just at the very beginning of it, like right here in the black section, black and white section. This is, I'm pretty sure this is Bougie Beaver or Spicy Beaver. It's one of the beaver colors, and then this is a teal color. I don't remember what it is, but it's like kind of a deep dark teal. And then I also just bought black and white, which this is called Baby Got Black, and this is their Fleur de Latte, I believe it's called. If not, do I have it on here? Do I have it in here, rather? I think I do. Fleur de Latte, yes. Fior de Latte, not Fleur, Fior. So those are my 6 colors. You don't need 6 colors. You can do fewer. There's a lot of flexibility in how you do. They do give you a color layout that you can follow. You can just substitute. I think it's 5 colors actually, so you could just substitute in. There are, I looked at a lot of project pages, and there was one in particular that I'll put on screen now that I really loved. It was one where she also did not do the pocket. And she did a very big section that was navy and white. And I thought, oh, black and white will look really awesome with the yellow. I mean, navy would look great too, but I just really love the idea of doing black and white. And what I decided to do, like, I think there are some where they don't use the body color in the color work at all. And then there were some where they used the body color, if it was a lighter body color, words. If it was a lighter body color, they were using it throughout as like a background color, and then just doing these different motifs in other colors. I decided to intersperse yellow. I wanted it to have some integration with the body on a whim. So I didn't plan it at all. I just kind of went, as I got to each section, I could see that there was some color changing happening. I modified, like I just kind of picked two that I thought would go together. And I tried to have continuity with, a mixture of the colors. The minty green, as I said, is awfully pale, and with the beaver color, they really don't have, they're very low contrast when knit up. So you can see that near the top of the sleeve. So once I did that, I was like, oh, I really need to use this color more because this has more depth and it just looks better up against this color, as well as it holds its own against the yellow a little bit better than the Bougie Beaver color did. And I ended up modifying the sleeve as well. I didn't do the full color work pattern the way they had it laid out because I could see that the sleeve was going to be very long, and I really didn't want a sleeve that was gonna, be this long. So I figured out the length and just decided, and I do expect like there'll be some growth in the sleeve after I block it, and there'll be growth in the body after I block it as well. But I'll probably have this done next time in my next episode. Because I've just moved along. I've cranked along. This is very addictive, doing this type of color work where you're changing up the colors one right after the other, or very quickly, like after 6 or 7 rows, you're changing your color scheme, sometimes even faster. So it's been really, really enjoyable. So yeah, I did end up this section here, this black and white section where I interspersed the yellow. I did, okay. Yeah, so this section here I did shorten, and there was like another motif, but I have to tell you, like, this section was so intense because it was not a very easily memorizable section. Like some of these sections, you're knitting 3 of a color and 3 of a color, or you're knitting 3, 2, 1, 1, something like that. Like it was a 6 or so stitch repeat or 7 stitch repeat, and it was super easy to remember as I went around. And it's short, it's less than 100 stitches, so it's not like doing color work in the round on a yoke or on a body where it's like a few hundred stitches. It's just 100 or less. So actually I think my sleeve started less than 100, so it depends on what size you make. You're just doing a handful of repeats, and like just as you sort of get into the rhythm of it, the row is done, and then you're looking at the next, what do you do for the next row. So that was really fun because it just moved so fast, and so there was like really a lot of instant gratification with the color work here. But anyway, what I was going to say was when it got to this section with these really big floral motifs, the memorization was impossible. So it was very tedious to go through and keep track of what I was supposed to do for each stitch, really. Like I could look at a small amount, and then I had to look at the next small amount, and then the next small amount. I couldn't easily like grasp what the repeat was across 70 or so stitches. By the time I got down there, it was about 70 stitches. So I wasn't sad that it was gonna get cut short because I was ready to be done. It's very hard to watch a program. I really needed a program where someone was just gonna talk to me, like almost like an audiobook, where I didn't really have to pay attention to what was happening on screen, because it was that intense of a section. So, but I got through it, and it probably took me the longest. It probably took me as much time to do this section as it did to do it all the way down there, to get all the way down there. And I did a 2-inch cuff because that's what the pattern called for, but I noticed that a lot of people made a shorter cuff, and I assume that's because they did the entire color work and their gauge is probably smaller than mine, and they were able to fit it all in on the sleeve. But yeah, I really love it. I love the way it looks. I think it's going to look so much better when it's blocked, of course, because there's a lot of, you know, from the stranded color work, there's a lot of, you know, unevenness in the knit right now, but it'll even out. So very excited about this. I was almost about to start knitting on this tonight when I was like, oh, let me just record, because I like cut it out and I was like, I think I should just record. I have about 1,200 yards of this yellow, and I'm going to use most of it. I probably will have about 200 yards left, so it's probably about 1,000 yards. Oh, and you can't see it, but I will change the camera a little bit. I did modify the neck, so the neck on, it's that bad color. The neck on the pattern is very scooped, and I didn't want that. It almost looked to me, to my eye, and maybe this is just me being critical, it almost looked to my eye like it was just really stretched out. So I did a more closed neck. So I did do some finagling with the way that the neck was formed. I ended up like cutting short a lot of the neck shaping and stuff to just get more of a crew neck feel. And it will open up in blocking because it looks a little closed right now, but it's going to open up in blocking there. That's better because those are the colors. I guess my very high, bright colored Crescendo blouse is, and this next to this very bright Stowaway sweater is causing the camera to have issues with focusing on the right color. So, all right, I'm going to take out another sweater. I have been making progress on my Mabel Sweater by Joji Locatelli. I love this sweater so much. I'm so happy with the way it's coming out so far. I'm almost actually to the sleeve stitch, sleeve split. It's a top-down sweater. I am working on, it's a raglan top-down sweater, so I'm working on the, is that the front? Yeah, that's the front. It is almost, I'm about, I want to say about 10, maybe 12 rows from where I'll split for the sleeves. But it is so fun, such a fun knit, because it's color changing yarn that I hand spun, and it is the softest yarn. Oh, I just love it. I think this is going to be so cozy. I really want this done. We'll see though. I actually was surprised. I looked at the pattern and I was like, oh my goodness, I am very close to being to the sleeve split. It looks a little short to me, but I think it's a waffle rib stitch, so I think there's going to be quite a lot of stretch. But when I get to the point where she says I should be splitting for the size that I'm knitting, I'll check it on Martha and make sure that it's going to be a low enough drop, and if not, I'll just keep knitting a few more rounds to get there. But yeah, it is coming. It's really just coming along. I really love it. This is a very copacetic kind of color blend here with all these like yellow and yellowy green and green. Oh, that was better there. Those are the color. That's more accurate of this green because that green is pretty bright. Yeah, I'm definitely throwing my camera off. I should have thought of that. I should have just worn a black sweater. Here's one skein of this self-striping yarn that I'm using. So you can see like after, let me get it closer because those colors were more accurate. Here we go. Wait, it's the yellow. It's the yellow that's throwing it. So this is actually brighter than what you're seeing on screen. me see if I can get it to, there you go. Those are the colors. Oh, right there. That's the way it looks. So what I was going to just point out is that after this very bright green is an olive section, and I think I'll be in the olive section or just past it when the sleeve split happens, which was surprising to me. I don't know why. I thought I was going to get through most of this skein. I don't know why I thought that, because it's a lot of yardage, this skein. I want to say it's about it was 500 yards or so. I don't recall exactly. This was self-striping yarn I made from Loop Fiber Studios Bullseye Bumps, and if you're familiar with her product, if I remember, I'll put a picture on screen of what they look like that I spun from these Bullseye Bumps. She does really unconventional color combos in these Bullseye Bumps, and you can spin it however you want. I have spun them where I've spun them back on themselves, so the same bump gets plied back on itself. And I've also done them where I've comboed them up with each other. So that's what this was. I had a bullseye bump that was primarily white with just tints of color. So like in rainbow order, tints of color going from purple to all the way through the Roy G. Biv, but in reverse order. So it was like it started with the violet in the center, which you would do. There's a center pull when you're spinning those. It started with the violet in the center and went out to red, which I think you can see maybe a bit. Like this white definitely has a little bit of a pink tinge to it. The other bullseye bump I had had white at the outside, like white. And it was all of these other colors along with a second skein, which I showed last time. I'll show you again next time. A second skein that really went from, so it sort of starts in these really sort of springy colors, like springtime colors, and it goes into more moody, like reds and blues kind of thing. And neutrals. There were some neutrals. She intersperses neutrals in there too. This one though is really bright and springy. So when I get to the sleeve split, I'm gonna make some decisions. I may mix up the colors. I actually considered maybe cutting the olive out and not using it at all, but I think I'm gonna keep it in. I think I'll if I'm knitting with it and it's looking weird to me, I might take it out. But I sort of like, I like the weird color combos too, even though they may not be colors I would put together if I were deciding. I sort of am into this like weird kind of jarring set of colors. So I'm gonna just kind of stay true to it for now. That's the plan anyway. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it is just so cute. So cute. And I could definitely see like this pattern being one of those patterns that you make again and again, because it just is so good. And I love there's like these little details that Hohi does. The way she did the increases on the sleeve. So you do like a triple increase every, like you're knitting 3 stitches in one every 4th round, so you get these like very regular accents, like eyelets basically, right at the right along the raglan sleeve, raglan seams, which I really like. It's really been fun. So I can't wait to see where this ends up and how this goes. So yeah, I've been so excited with my knits lately, which is a huge change, because last time I was so bummed because I hadn't been knitting a lot, and so I had these things on the needles for a long time. And yeah, it was a little disconcerting, but now everything's looking good. I do not have any spinning. I have been spinning. I just did not finish a spinning project, which is not surprising because I've been doing these very long time consuming, I should say, not long, but time consuming combo spins where I'm making 6 full bobbins and then plying 3 together to make one big fat skein, and then 3 to make another big fat skein. So those have been taking me 3 to 4 weeks to get done, and I last recorded 2 weeks ago. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose. Last recorded 2 weeks ago, so I'm very close to having the yarn done. I'll probably finish it this week, so I'll have it to show you next week. Really excited about this one. This one is three different interpretations, 3 different dyers interpretations of like capri, basically. One's called capri, so it's like got brilliant turquoise with beachy sand colors and gold, and one's called pool party, and that's similar. And then the other one is called, it might be Merlin's beard or something like that, but it's from Into the World. Actually, no, 2 of them are from Into the World. I lied. One was a club color from Into the World. The other one was part of their regular lineup. Yeah, but I so hope that it comes out bright and cheerful. That would just make me so happy. And I hope I get decent yardage, because I would really like to make a really, I don't know, gorgeous sweater or something out of it. I've been waffling a bit on the combo spends in terms of which yarns or which fibers I'm going to put together. So this is the second time that I've gotten about halfway to 2/3 done, and I've had second thoughts on one of the colors and just decided that it wasn't a fiber that I thought would go together with the other 2 colors. So I've been swapping things out. So I did the same with this one. I'd originally had a very deep dark moody color that I was going to put with the two of the bright turquoises, and then I was just like, what am I doing? That's just going to bring the whole thing down, and it's going to look really muddy. I knew I had one more bright turquoise color. I had comboed it up with another couple other fiber bumps, and I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to rejigger everything. And in rejiggering things, I did try. I had a set of 400-gram fibers from a vendor who is no longer making, a maker who no longer makes. She's out of business. And I put all 4 of those in the composter because they were terrible. Like, 2 of them were very pretty, but unspinnable. She had done some fiber combos that just were not going to work, or if they were going to work, it was going to be very, very painful for me to spin them. Like, it was just going to be like not a pleasant spin to spin. One was a linen alpaca blend, which, if that sounds familiar, that's what linen quill is. But the linen is such a long fiber. It's like, it's grown from like basically grass, and it's fiber that's like feet long. She didn't chop it up, like she didn't cut it up. So linen quill is made from linen and alpaca too, but the linen is short, so they were able to spin it. This was not broken up at all. So in this long, feet long braid I had, or roving I had, there was just this really long piece of linen. And then alpaca is like the shortest fiber in the world. Like, not in the world, but it's a very short fiber. So it was just a really weird combo, and I couldn't get the linen to spin. Linen also, when you spin it, you're supposed to spin it wet. There's a whole science to spinning linen, and I have 0 experience spinning linen. So it was a club. Like, I had bought from this vendor a club where every month I got a different braid, like of roving, 100 grams, 4 ounces of roving. It was just awful. And so then the second one, so I couldn't spin that, threw that in the compost. Second one, I it was mostly silk. I don't even know if it was real silk. It might have been the faux silk, but that is also super long. It's man-made, or if it's not man-made, silk is very, very long fiber, yards long. So it just wasn't spinnable. It was not going to be spinnable. Also with alpaca, a very short fiber. I could see right away. Both of those I tried to spin. So those both went in the compost. And then her other two that I got from her in that club were really, really ugly colors. Just probably spinnable, but by then I was gun shy about spinning them. Probably spinnable, but just really disgusting colors. Like they were like, if you think about a greenish brown, like the ugliest greenish brown, and you know what I mean when I say greenish brown, because it's something that we probably have all seen, especially if we've had babies. It was that color. They were so ugly. I was just like, I'm not going to make this. Even if I combo it up with something, they're still going to be ugly, and they're going to make the other fibers that I'm putting with ugly. So those went in the compost too. And then I put two other fiber bumps, fiber roving, 4-ounce fiber rovings in the compost because they were perfectly beautiful fiber, but the colors were not for me. They were predominantly deep dark gray with red and purple, and just not my colors. Sorry if you like those colors. I'm not a red or purple person. And I realize that I have a lot of purple fiber. I don't know why. So you will see me spinning purple, and of course, like, I got this color. This was a club too. I didn't pick it. This boy loves these colors. He loves these blues and purples. So anything I make with blues and purples, and so does Julie. So it'll be for other people. Also, I don't really like those colors. I don't like to wear those colors. So, yeah, so that was good, I guess, because I got rid of 6 4-ounce bats or fiber bundles that were just not going to make me happy. So that felt good, actually. I was glad. And before you come at me for not selling them, I have tried to sell fiber in the past, and it is not sellable. Very, very few people are interested in buying fiber secondhand. And yeah, sure, the nice fiber, those that were colors I didn't like, I probably could have donated, but that also comes with its own thing, right? And I just decided that, wool makes perfectly great compost, so that's what I did. Don't come at me. Don't be mad. Okay, wrapping this up. It's pretty nice and condensed. I like to have my videos be under an hour because I like to watch videos that are an hour or less. So I don't know. I'm just doing what I like. Hope you like it too. I just wanted to chat with you very briefly about Vlogmas because it's highly likely that because 2 weeks from now is Thanksgiving, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I do Vlogmas once a week. So I will take footage throughout the week of things that I'm doing that are vlog-worthy vlog-worthy things. You'll get some daily routine. I'll probably show daily routine once, or maybe I might do a montage of different daily routine stuff in each video, but it'll be very quick, very brief. And there may be some daily vlog chatter in there, but generally I'm trying to focus on things that I'm doing that are Christmassy. And if I'm not mistaken, I should start that first Sunday, because that's December 1st, right, of Thanksgiving weekend. So yeah, so it's very likely that the next time I see you, it's a Vlogmas. So I got my advents. Just wanted to give you a little heads up about what's coming in that. I have 2 countdown calendars. One is a 12-day fiber countdown calendar from Qing Fibre. More about that in the first video of Vlogmas. And then I got a 12-day sock yarn, I think it's sock yarn, from Woolly Mammoth Fibers over in Northern Ireland. I love her videos. I love her channel. and her products. They're just beautiful. They came this week, so I'm excited. And I have a candy calendar as well, that I think is a 24-day, just little chocolates to eat. And that's all I have in terms of countdown calendars. Oh, and I have a stripe sock from Freckled Whimsy, 24 stripes. Well, it's not really a sock yarn. I bought the DK, so you can buy either fingering weight or DK. I bought DK. I did it last year and I made socks, but I really need some fingerless mitts. If you've been around since last year, you'll remember that I made fingerless mitts. I made some colorwork fingerless mitts, and I promptly lost them in the spring. So I no longer have those, and I have a pair of store-bought ones that are pretty beat up, but I keep them in my car. I like to use them driving because I want to have my fingers free, but my steering wheel's cold, so fingerless mitts are great for that. Unless it gets super cold, then I'm putting on full gloves. But yeah, so I need another pair, and I thought this would be fun. And she said the colors are not Christmassy, so we'll see what they are. I have no idea. Last year they were kind of they leaned into the darker sort of wintry tones, and it was pretty. And I followed there was a pattern given to us. This year she didn't give us a pattern. It's, as far as I know. I don't know that I actually opened the bag up to see what was inside. I think we just got yarn this time. But yeah, so that's what you have to look forward to. I'll be knitting a stripe every day. I'm going to try to do 2 at a time. And I'll be opening every other day. What I might do is open fiber one day and a skein of yarn the next, so there's always something to open. And then the candy is every day. And I talked about getting a wine countdown, a 12-day wine, but I decided against that. It's fine. I don't need that too. It would have been fun, but it's fine. I could just imagine, because you can either buy like a half bottle one. Some of them are full bottles, like 12-day full bottles, but I'd rather just get the wine I like and then open mystery wine. I don't know. Sorry if you like the mystery. It can be fun. It definitely can be fun. And of course I love mystery, but most of the time. I didn't love having to throw away that entire club from that vendor. I had bought that club a long time ago and just never got around to spinning it because they were sort of weird blends. And I think I bought it in maybe 2019. It was right when I learned how to spin it. I think it was that winter. So I was a new spinner and just hadn't learned, and I was nervous to spin these weird fiber combos. I'm so glad I waited because I probably would have just been really frustrated trying to spin them. But yeah, okay. So that is me this time around, this episode. I'm trying to think if I may or may not do, I probably will do a full Knitter's Life as well as doing the Vlogmas. I'll probably do one more Knitter's Life in early December, probably the same weekend that Vlogmas comes out. They'll probably be like back to back, and to give you some updates on this. And then I'll probably not do another Knitter's Life until the end of the year, the end of December, to get you caught up on the knitting that I did. And then in early January, I'll do my year-end recap of my knitting. I didn't knit a lot this year. Yeah, it's been kind of a low knit year. But also I have quite a few projects I'm excited to knit on in the future. One is that Pines sweater by, oh my goodness, I can't remember the designer, but you can look forward to a really cool pattern. I may end up shopping for that yarn at Vogue because I don't think I have anything in my stash that'll go with that, but I do want to use my stash. So there'll be more projects with a lot of the gorgeous yarn I have in my stash. Okay, see you later. See you in a couple weeks with an update and Vlogmas. Take care. Bye.